The boss, Tom Ross, he's on your right. Is he going by Thomas now? Is this a new thing?
I don't know.
Thomas Ross is a little too serious for me.
Formal.
Yeah, a little too formal against Eric Hyneman, who is playing elves, and the boss is going to start things off with an Inquisition Kozilek. So perhaps he chose to play first. I'm not sure.
Or Hyneman knows what's up.
That's a good question as well. However, here's Inquisition. It's a forest. Tom chose to play first.
Maybe he has to choose to play in the dark.
Oh,
but post-board
he can switch.
Depending on the matchups.
Okay. Llanowar Elves will go to the graveyard here. There's a forest past the turn back. Ross will draw a card.
Give him the sinkhole.
Yeah. No smallpox just yet. Here's a Thoughtseize. You see a Court of Calling, Eternal Witness. And there goes Devoted Druid. A lot of 3-drops there for Eric Hyneman. He really needed that 1-mana elf. He's drawing a Collected Company. He doesn't have a second land. And now both players stuck here on 1. Up there is a Swamp there for Tom Ross. Raven's Crime. Not great against a mana-screwed opponent.
But if you're just trying to trade 1 for 1 and then winning with a leftover, it's all good. Take every Raven's Crime, every Funeral Charm, every Spectre's Wail. Bang.
Yeah, now there's Raven's Crime. We'll show you Shrieking Affliction as well because it is one of the win conditions here for 8 rack. It is racks 5 through 8. The racks is racks 1 through 4. As Hyneman will draw a card. Shrieking Affliction is a single black enchantment. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has 1 or fewer cards in hand, he or she loses 3 life, which Eric is not close to right now. Actually has 6 cards, it looks like. So Ross has got some work to do on that hand. Let's go back over to Eric. He's picked up an elf.
Smallpox time.
And
all we were waiting for was the mana creature.
Swamp the draw here for Ross. You getting excited at this is just too much.
Yes.
Yeah, there it is. It's a Smallpox. Eric's going to read this one too. I don't think he's going to like what he sees, as he's going to be without any permanence on the battlefield. Each player loses a life, discards a card, sacrifices a creature, then sacrifices a land. So for Eric, he's going to lose his Elvish Mystic and Forest and have to discard an Elvish Archer, it looks like he's selecting. But maybe it's going to be the Collected Company.
This is a really sketchy card to reprint.
Smallpox?
Surprising. I'm looking at the M12 logo on it. It's like, really? That
was a little while ago.
They brought that one back?
Yeah, they did. A little while ago. Oh, there's a win condition in Mutavault.
Countdown T-minus 10 turns.
Yeah. We'll go back over to Eric, who's having difficulty drawing lands, and he's not drawn one yet.
Really rare that the opponent of the rack deck has to discard the hand size, but that's just the duplicitous edge. You see.
Covers both sides. Eric may never draw a land again. He may never draw a land again, folks. There goes Azuri.
Free Raven's Crime.
Yeah. Here comes Mutavault once again. You know, now I can kind of see some of the appeal if games are like this. Maybe a little flawless victory here for Tom.
No memory, you participated.
Eric will draw. Not a land.
Eric, you know, he's making, he's at least keeping his composure.
Here comes Mutavault again.
And I like Ross not flashing back those Raven's Crimes.
Oh, yeah?
Why bother if he's discarding a hand size?
That's
Wait
true.
for him to play something.
You don't even need to. Azuri the draw. What will happen first? Eric draws a land or loses the game?
He'll probably, I mean, this is a slow clock.
It's pretty slow. It's pretty slow.
I'm guessing he draws a land. Ooh, come on, Westvale Abbey. He's got 1.
Let's see what the draw is. That's not a land. I think that's 6 turns in a row I haven't drawn one. There goes Art Druid. Tom will draw. Oh, we have sped it.
Smart Money was on death.
Yeah. Here's Liliana. Not going to plus it.
Why bother?
Draw a card. Is it a land? Nope. Smart Money. Smart Money.
Oh, okay.
Never drew one. Never drew one. Tom Ross. I'm not going to call him Thomas. I refuse. Tom Ross wins game number 1 here over Eric Hyneman as 8 rack flexes its muscles over the elves.
That was great.
For some reason. So you didn't even do this when you were younger. You used to play like blue and land destruction.
Back in the day, I played everything. I have experience with every archetype.
Okay.
Including rack-based strategies.
Okay.
Back, you had to get it done with Hidden Torak, obviously busted. Disrupting Scepter, Less busted.
Less busted.
And then, yeah, Funeral Charm, that was a big deal. But you had actual pox back in the day.
Yeah, that card was good.
Oh, yeah.
That card was good.
Well, it was confusing.
But I think it was good.
The term 1/3 rounded up probably should not appear on your cards.
Well, there's a new card that got printed with that in Ixalan.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah, that we will. There's a pirate. It's on a creature. We'll get to that. And we'll get to that after the match. For now, we're going to talk about Eric Hyneman's sideboard. 2 Chameleon Colossus, 2 Path Exile, Fun of One-Ofs, Reclamation Sage, Burrington Forge Tender, Either Sworn Candidates, Kataki War's Wage, Selfless Spirit Haven Mind Center, Eidolon of Reddick, Rest in Peace, Stony Silence, Fracturing Gust, and the Revoker from Phyrexia.
I would present my same 60.
You don't even want the Colossus?
You think you're getting 4 mana?
You're an Elves
And
deck.
it's also not like Tom's playing with a bunch of Terminates. He's not playing. If he's got removal in his deck, it's either Edicts or Damnations, right?
Okay, I guess that's true. I mean, Fatal Push.
Yeah, but he's fatal pushing your mana creatures.
Okay.
I could see bringing it in because, you know, it's whatever.
It's pro-black against a black deck.
It's pro-black. He's mono-black, whatever. It can't be that wrong, but I wouldn't bother.
For Tom Ross, 4 Ley Line of the Void, 4 Delirium Scans. Do you remember that one?
Vaguely.
3 mana. Each player discards 3.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 2 Death Shadow, 2 Bantu's Last Reckoning, a Fatal Push, a Shadow of Doubt, and an Asylum Visitor for the boss. What do we think here, Discard Master?
I'd bring in the Shadow of Doubt because of Court of Calling.
Okay.
Bring in the Fatal Push because of creatures. And I'd bring in Bantu's Last Reckoning also because of creatures.
That's great. See, that's great analysis.
There
right
you go.
There he is. He's back, better than he ever was.
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at our YouTube page here very quickly before Game Number 2 is underway, where you can watch a whole bunch of different stuff, and you're going to tell them all about it.
Well, you can subscribe today over at youtube.com/StarCityGames. Archives of a variety of videos, including Split Second, Versus Series, Commander Versus, Magic Online, Playtesting, Best of the SCG Tour, and much more. Again, you can subscribe today for free over at youtube.com/StarCityGames. Get notified when new content is uploaded to the page.
The boss, Tom Ross, we'll take a moment to learn about here. For those of you unfamiliar, maybe new to the SCG Tour, 34-year-old who currently resides in Roanoke, Virginia with 17 open top 8s, 6 open wins, 4 invitational top 8s, and 2 Envy wins. Recently started training to become a volunteer firefighter, so good on him for that. Washington and Oregon could certainly use the help since both those states are just literally burning to the ground right now. Along with Michael Majors, put 8% of all tournament winnings towards buying, not burning, an NBA Jam machine.
That'd be a weird thing to certainly decide for.
And a 2016 SCG Tour Player of the Year is the boss, T. Ross, and he loves himself an 8-rack deck. This is the third. No, he played Infect in Richmond. He played 8-rack with White in Syracuse. Now he's back to just mono black 8-rack here in Louisville. Guy knows what he wants to do. He wants to make you discard.
You discard. Bantu's Last Reckoning is great.
That's a hoot.
Yeah.
That's a hoot.
Couple things. 3 versus 4, big difference with a format as fast as Modern. And also, you don't really care about the drawback so much if your opponent has no cards to play.
That's correct.
You can take a turn off.
Yeah. Here's an Inquisition of Kozilek from Tom targeting Eric. And Missouri, 2 Court of Calling is the Direwin's Elite. Westvale Abbey and Court of Calling, that's the hand. The Direwin's Elite will bite the dust. We go back over to Eric Hyneman, who has drawn a replacement copy of the Elite.
Actually, a bit of a victory here for Ross here to get one out of the hand with the discard spell and have a second one show up and not trigger. I think it's subtly one of the best cards in the matchup for Hyneman in terms of being able to absorb the edict effects and still have a clock.
For Ross, he does have a Thoughtseize. He's not sure if he has a second land or not. Can't really tell. No, he has a Liliana. He's going to play a Fatal Push to take care of the Elite and simply pass the turn back. So Hyneman will go. He picked up a Collected Company. There's a Westvale Abbey. Here comes Missouri. Pass the turn back. For Tom, he's found a land there in a swamp. Does he want to go towards Smallpox? Hyneman's lands here are very strange as there is Smallpox. Tom's going to discard Liliana because Hyneman's probably going to have to sacrifice Westvale Abbey now, but he doesn't really have any good way to cast Court of Calling. He's got 2 of those in his hand.
Yep, and he's down the creature too.
Yeah.
Whoa. Ooh. Forest.
Forest, huh? I am surprised by that. I'll tell you what. Razorverge Thicket off the top.
More optimistic than I am.
Yeah, you and me both. Here's a Mutavault. Going to start off with the Thoughtseize, though. I think Collected Company probably going to be the choice here.
Yeah, just leave him with a cord that doesn't do anything. And
Mutavault into the rack.
Get him into the rack.
Here we go. Lex Luger is here.
Got him up on the shoulders.
So this one a little different than Shrieking Affliction, but now we'll take a look at the rack. For those unfamiliar with this old school card, of course Tom would have the old school version.
You can go older school than this.
If opponent has fewer than 3 cards in hand during his or her upkeep, the rack does 1 damage to opponent for each card fewer than 3. Some interesting wording there.
Right.
Maybe not updated so much, but basically.
A pairing with Black Vice.
Yes.
And you know what the flavor is there?
What's that?
Black Vice, more effective if you're a little larger. The rack, more effective if you're
a little smaller.
Yeah,
it makes sense. That's really smart right there. They don't make them like they used to.
They do not. Well, I mean, they're they lean in a little bit less into tropes about torture. So you're right. They don't.
They don't make them how they used to. Yeah. So what I said stands. Okay. Just want to make sure we're on the same page here.
This is not. This one's about torturing skinny people. Okay, I get it. Yeah. And you can see Hyneman here currently being tortured. He's got a Revoker in his hand. And is it worth casting this? Because I'm skinnier. My hands.
There's less of me.
Right.
Yeah. So this only hurts more. And now here's Liliana the Veil. This is getting really bad for Eric. Now he named the rack with Phyrexian Revoker. Not that it matters all that much, but Liliana's going to take care of the Revoker. And into the rack we go once again. He'll take 4. Heritage Druid. Well, you kind of want to cast that, but you also kind of don't.
Yep.
There is Heritage Druid. Pass the turn back. All right, take a bunch from the rack in a minute here. We might see Smallpox from Tom.
Sure.
Yep. There goes Tom's hand. But
nice.
Eric is going to lose Heritage Druid and a land and the card in his hand, and Eric is as skinny as can be right now.
Yeah.
Lex Luger doesn't have to lift very much to take care of this one. Maybe there is some appeal to this deck.
This is delightful.
Maybe there is some appeal. Eric's going to take 6. And that is going to do it. Tom Ross going to win this match here over Eric Hyneman. 2-0. 8 rack. Tom with a big smile. Big smile.
Couldn't be happier. I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
It's tough to be happier after that. Everything went to plan.
Did Hyneman get to start a turn with a creature in play in 2 games? I think the answer is no. That is satisfying.
I think the answer might actually be no.
His deck is just nothing but creatures.
Yeah, I know.
So
I get it. I don't think he got to. No, the rack did everything the 8 rack is supposed to do that go around. Tom made that one look. Maybe that's just a good matchup.
I think you have Diamond's Elite and you have Elvish Visionary. I think those are the key cards for the Elf player there. You have to just get some more raw material to work with because there's so much attrition, so much 1-for-1 happening. And he was never able to get a Diamond's Elite to trigger. He's only got 1 Elvish Visionary in the deck, and the rest of this is just random creatures getting picked apart the whole way through.
Yeah, that was pretty simple stuff. Pick the creatures apart, make you discard your cards. Smallpox can be good in that matchup a lot of the time, along with the 1-mana discard spells and Inquisition and Thoughtseize, and just like that.